But, Johnny, let's move on into the next topic we're going to talk about. Before we do, make sure to check us out, twitch.tv/MostVow Podcast. Dave and I have been playing WoW, probably going to stream that. I streamed Call of Duty. I'm going to be playing that a lot more. Podcast, eventually, we will have a date where, boom, they will be live podcasts. That's where you will go ahead and get us, twitch.tv/MostVow Podcast. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can throw us your free sub. If you're throwing it nowhere else, why not sub to Most Valuable Podcast? But Johnny,
do it.
We got a trailer to react to, and that is Star Wars, the final trailer for Rise of the Skywalker. Okay. First off, I'll ask you, because you have just seen it now. I watched it because I was watching Monday Night Football, which to me is still weird. That I get the connection.
Wasn't it Sunday, not Monday?
Monday night.
Oh, okay.
It was Monday Night Football during halftime is when they premiered the trailer. I still find that weird that I get the connection because Disney owns Star Wars and ESPN. Mm-hmm. But has Star Wars become so mainstream that like, hey, we're just going to do it during a football game? Like it doesn't seem to me that like the football crowd would be the one where we're going to premiere a Star Wars trailer.
Here's how I see it. So you got like, that's why they were promoting it for like the whole week before.
It's going to be
this is when you're going to see it,
Monday
guys.
Night game. Yeah.
So, because you don't know when halftime is actually going to be for a football game. Let's be fair.
And those nerds don't want to sit through the whole first half, which is understandable.
But they're
For
going
example, would you want to sit through the whole first half?
You think you know the answer to that? For them, I know.
I'm saying, if there was no Star Wars trailer, would you have watched that first half?
I don't watch it. I didn't watch it, honestly. Because but you have a bunch of them that want to see that first premiere of the trailer. So
it's just gonna up your numbers.
That's all it comes down to. It's a numbers game. They're upping their numbers because you got the nerds that want to see the trailer, watch at least the first half of that football game. Yeah. You got the people that watched the football game, sit there for a game
that wasn't that good that many people would have turned off after like the first quarter.
I don't know, but you got people that still watched it anyways, that sat and watched through the Star Wars trailer. So they got the numbers for the trailer. Yeah. They got the numbers for the game.
Makes sense.
It's just a numbers game. That's all it comes down to. But hey, why not, right?
But you just saw the trailer now because you did not watch Monday Night Football.
And I kept missing it all week long because I kept forgetting to check it out.
First reactions before we get into everything. I kind of said first wrong. It kind of sounded weird. So
what
first reaction?
The fuck? Like this is kind of like hard to take in because it is actually promoting the fact that this is the end of an era.
Yeah.
Like not eras.
Exactly. Three combined eras.
Combined eras. Because let's just put it out this way. The first of it came out in the 70s and 80s, right? 70s, 80s. And you got those three trilogies. Then you got the ones that came out during our childhood,
which was early 2000s.
I think 1999 was the first one, right?
Yeah. 98, 99, and then into the 2000s.
And now you have this new trilogy that's going to wrap all 9 movies up. It's kind of hard to take in. Do not go on to the next thing. Sorry, my computer. Yeah, sorry. Do not go on the next thing.
Yeah, Phantom Menace was May of 1990. You were right. 1999.
Thank you. I'm like 90. I'm pretty sure it was later than that. I don't think it came out when I was born.
No, it did not. May of 1999. Revenge of the Sith was May of 2005.
Okay. But
yeah, May of 2005.
I mean, but it's kind of hard. The main thing first is it's kind of hard to take everything in. And what we were just talking about during part of it, I'm going to jump first to C-3PO.
Yeah.
Someone who's been there.
The thing I tweeted about.
Since the beginning. I don't check Twitter enough. So
yeah, that was the one thing from the trailer that I tweeted about.
The trailer before this, you get just a glimpse of the red-eyed C-3PO.
Yes.
But now you got... what are you doing? I'm looking at my friends one last time. It's like, holy shit, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you and I discussed it. It's almost most definitely a sacrificial thing.
Exactly.
There's nothing else that I can think it could be.
I'm looking back because, yet again, it was a week ago that I tweeted this out. What was the exact tweet that I said? Oh, I said, new #Star Wars trailer brought it. I started to tear up when C-3PO said he was taking one last look at his friends. Cannot wait to finish out the Skywalker journey in December. With a crying Togepi, kind of
crying Togepi.
Is it Togepi? I thought it was Togepi. Oh, that's the evolved form, Togepi. I think, or I'm just pronouncing how it said its own name, Togepi. Yeah, it's how it said its name, Togepi.
Togepi
had that kind of just a sad one with the tears waving because that one was like, oh man, he is like I'm expecting him to just die. He's dead when he turns to Red Eye C-3PO. There's no getting him back.
I'm wondering, like, now I really want to know what it is that he's doing to sacrifice himself. But that is, like, I can't think of anything else that it's a sacrificial thing. Because I can't think it's, like, too much damage.
Yeah.
Even then, it still comes to sacrificing from some reason.
The other thing I liked with this trailer, and this is going to get into one thing that you said, but we're totally disregarding the Rey double red lightsaber that she swings out into the full Darth Maul one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I liked about this trailer. The voiceovers throughout. It starts with Finn. It goes on through. Eventually, you get to. It's all talking about the Force bringing them together. It starts with Finn. Then you hear Luke's voice. Then you have Poe's voice, where Poe talking about like the Resistance and the numbers are small, so bringing people in. Like if we give them something to fight for, the people will come. It then goes on to Rey, where she's like, everyone thinks they know who I am, but nobody knows who I am. And then it eventually ends with Palpatine, which to me, most what the fuck part of this is when he says, your coming together will be your undoing. Is he talking? The first thing, we'll unpack that before I keep going on. Is he talking? He's talking about the Rey and Kylo connection that we're going to get in this, because it looks like they're going to come together for a common good throughout part of this movie, because they both, I don't know what it is, it's too fast to see what it is, but they both destroy a like rock pillar.
It almost looks like I'm wondering if I got to the
because it's in a weird white room too that we've never seen before.
I'm almost wondering if that's like, because it looks like it's already charred up. It kind of makes me think of the Darth Vader helmet from the first one.
Yeah, well, that's also what people are thinking it is the Darth Vader helmet,
like something along with the Darth Vader helmet. Yeah. So honestly, Palpatine could be talking to Kylo. Coming together could be your undoing.
Oh, so he's not talking to
Rey.
Good guys. He's talking to Kylo.
Like you're leaving the dark side, the power, the.
Oh, I didn't even fucking think about that.
That's what I'm wondering, because you kind of see him starting to work a little bit more with Rey.
Do you think he becomes good at the end? Does he leave the dark side?
I don't even know if I want to make that prediction.
Like, is the whole Skywalker like? Let me put it this way. Oh shit! That adds a second level to what I was going to throw out. So I'll ask this. Rise of the Skywalker. We think it's about Rey. It ain't about Rey.
About Kylo.
It's about Kylo. Kylo, like, it's set up in a way of where, from our point of view as the watcher, we think that
this is about Rey.
That Rey is the protagonist. No. She's not. She's technically the antagonist. This story is about Kylo. He's the protagonist.
Well, let's put it this way: the first three, 1, 2, 3, not 4, 5, 6.
You're talking about the Phantom Menace, or you're talking
Phantom Menace?
Okay,
is about Anakin.
Yes,
and is changed to the dark side.
Yes.
It's a saga about his change from childhood to the dark side. New Hope is kind of the combined of more so about Luke.
Yeah, Luke's the main.
His journey through Jedi and kind of
Leia also.
But the continuation of Anakin from dark side to light, back to light.
Yeah, and also the thing at the end in Return of the Jedi, and why I love it so much, is the whole thing of Luke's greatest fear is that, because the thing I love about it is they took a trope that we always say, like my mom would always say this when we were growing up. Oh, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So it's like, even when like I would go in high school, and I'd be like, oh, like this is a girl that I may date. My mom would be like, well, look at her mother. That's probably who she's going to become. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And it was like, in most cases, in my mom's side, like, yeah, the girls that I was dating, yeah, they were, over time, I was like, oh, shit, they're turning into their mom. But in this case, Luke trying to fight that. My dad's on the dark side. Like, I don't want to be that apple falls far from the tree. But then in the end, you get that where Vader's the one to throw Palpatine over. Vader showing, no, I was good. It was my decision that led me to the dark side. You can make your own decision too. And then Luke choosing to be on the light, not the dark. Because Rey, I think the double lightsaber thing, it's either one of two things. It's either A, it's a figment of her imagination and it's a vision of her fear that she is going to get pulled into the dark side. Because there's also a big theory going out there, and I want to ask you about this. I don't know if we've talked about it before. A big fan theory that Rey is the reason why we don't know who her parents are is because she doesn't have any parents. She is one of the clones that Palpatine, because in one of the Star Wars stories in the 80s in the comics, Palpatine tries to make a clone for him to inhabit, and then he can come back. People are thinking Rey is that clone to where it's like, you're the body. Like, that's why Palpatine is like, really like up to the point of like, this is the final moment. This is what I've been waiting for. Because he's been waiting for A, Rey, the clone, for him to possess, but two, Kylo, the perfect apprentice, to be sitting next to him while he's on the dark side of the Sith throne that we do see.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that one.
Johnny's like, that's a lot to take in. I'm looking up the exact kind of rundown of it, and hopefully my computer does not die. So here's a little snippet of it. Rey is a clone. That's a clone of Luke. That is not. But the most interesting part of this theory explains Rey's lineage. Rey is a clone of Luke, made from his hand that got cut off in The Empire Strikes Back. The clone was made by Palpatine in one of his labs in Jakku. Two junk traders found Palpatine's lab and were scavenging for goods they could have sold off for drinking money. They found Rey and sold her to the Unkar plot. I think that's how you pronounce that. So that's kind of the basis
that
of
one I
how
can almost see.
Like, that's the basis of how she became a clone, basically. But basically, she's Palpatine's clone, and the whole reason he's making the clone is so that he can possess that clone and kind of use it as like my spirit in your body. I can come back to the living world. My Force ghost can inhabit your living body, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I just wonder if they're really going to go that route, because I don't know. I would feel like that would end up leaving more questions than not.
But would it? Here's what I think. This is the one way I think it works. And I know you're giving me that little half eye roll you just did. That little like, sure, Ricky, try to make sure this works. What if? And this is if they throw this in there. I don't think they do either. I just want to fight for this devil's advocate style. What if she finds out that she's a clone? That might rock your world. Of like, I'm not an actual person. First she's got to battle with well, do I actually have choices then? Like, of what I've been making, are they my own choices or are they what I'm programmed to? And then her with the double lightsaber could be a vision she sees, and much like Luke's fear of turning to the dark side, his more so because it's in his blood, his dad did it, so he's fearing he would do it too. Rey, I was programmed. My clone was programmed for this, so is it inevitable that I am going to go to the dark side? And her fighting that, and that kind of, not reminiscing, but kind of paralleling the same kind of feelings and same kind of battle that Luke was having in Return of the Jedi.
I like the parallels to the Luke thing and stuff like that, but I don't agree with I still don't agree with the making her a clone thing necessarily.
Or is she Kylo's sister?
Well, what?
Because that theory won't die.
No, probably won't until we finally get to the end of this one.
Exactly.
But you got to finish up. How are you gonna end it?
See, I don't know.
Does he possess her? Because that just kind of brings the story on to, hey, we need 3 more now.
No.
Unless you have him possess her and kill her, or someone kills him.
My thought is baseline: Palpatine Palpatine is dead and he's done. Kylo, I don't think dies. He comes over to the good, and basically, and that I like that. That just shocked me. Another parallel. Who does Kylo look up to?
Darth
Vader.
Should have said the Vader part. Yeah.
What?
There's a lot of Darths.
Yes. What if? And after they beat Palpatine, hey, Grandpa, I've looked up to you my entire life. To kind of give your name a good one compared to a bad one, I'm going to actually do what you couldn't. Well, you didn't have well, I'm not going to say couldn't, because technically he did. He tried. No. By throwing Palpatine off, and then that moment he has with Luke before he dies. I always watched that and was like, that was Darth. Like, right before he died, boom, he turned to the good. And that's why we get the Anakin Force Ghost in the remakes. And I know people are saying that the Anakin Force Ghost isn't supposed to be there.
I mean, he also gives he has the Anakin Force, like the old Anakin Force Ghost.
Yes, but Sith.
And the old ones.
Sith, it's a weird workaround. They're not supposed to be actual Force ghosts like we see at the end of Return of the Jedi. So that's why it makes me believe that last moment of him throwing Palpatine off was him, and his moment with Luke turned into the good side. Kylo's going to do the same thing, except he's not going to die. And it's going to be like, I am going to live on and do something that you weren't able to, that you didn't realize until it was too late. I'm realizing it now, and that's why and that's why he helps Rey rather than.
That's what I'm going to do. What you couldn't quite do back
then. Exactly. I'm going to go full into it and finish it. Where Vader went halfway through.
Well, full out kill the Emperor, Palpatine,
too, yeah.
And
because that fall didn't.
Apparently. But yeah, it's like I'm gonna actually make sure he's dead.
Anakin should have just let Mace Windu kill him when he had the chance.
Didn't think about it then.
I mean, a fall kills Mace Windu. Can't kill Palpatine.
Palpatine.
Pepperidge
Farm, remember.
He likes that Snapple. It's Snappletine. But go ahead.
I have my own drink beverage company.
Go ahead.
I kind of lost track of where I was thinking now.
So we were talking about, I made the whole Kylo Ren thing that he's going to do what Vader couldn't.
I mean, I see it like him it being more about like his turn back to the light side, kind of a Darth Vader parallel, but kind of where he's got the rest of his life to go ahead and do it. Do it. But like, I think I can agree with he kills off the Emperor. Maybe we don't even get where Rey came from still.
It's just a question we never get the answer to.
Either that or they just...
I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind it, but you know it's going to piss off a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. Like, because we live in a society where I need answers to everything.
I need them.
Like, one of the best things I liked about watching some movies would it infuriate me? Yes. Because I want, like, me as a person, I'm in that category. I want to know the answer. But sometimes the better part of the ending of a movie
is not having all the answers.
Well, is to leave it up in question, because then that gives the fans, we can interpret it the way we want to. We can then have discussions about how you saw it compared to how I saw it, compared to how the viewer saw it, kind of a thing. And that's the beauty of it. It's like, hey, it's an interpretation. How did you see it? I feel like something like this, there's no, like, we've been interpreting on who her parents are forever, that we need an answer.
Since it started?
Yeah, we need an answer. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't give us one.
And also, here's the other thing about the clone thing. I just remembered. Remember, was it Attack? Was it
Attack of the Clones?
number 2?
Yeah, Attack of the Clones.
Where we learn about how clones are done. They age way slower than normal people.
We never know how old Rey is.
Well, she was. They said they have little like hints here and there about her.
Think about this though. How? Let's say, put this into perspective.
Yeah.
The timeline of Luke lost his arm in Empire Strikes Back, right? Let's say around that time. Before he gets thrown off the ledge. That's where, so arm gets cut off in Empire Strikes Back. Right after that, shortly after that, that's when the clone is made. So think about it. If clones age slower, could the timeline work to where Rey was made during the original trilogy? So at the sometime in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, by the time we get to now in the Star Wars trilogy, if she ages slower, that could be why she's a younger, like she's not super old and decrepit, but she's not a young kid.
I mean, she's like maybe early 20s. They're kind of hinting at in here.
If clones age slower, it would make sense that from Empire Strikes Back to now that she'd be the age she is.
Yeah, but it's like at least they were inferring, I can't remember if they were actually mentioning it, that she was dropped off around the time.
I'm going to say this, by the way. Matt Pat, I know you're watching. He ain't watching. But I know you're watching. And if you watch Matt Pat, link him to this so he can do this because I just don't have the time to do it. And I would love to see him do it. I want him to do a film theory on this. Could Rey be a clone and actually work through the time period of, is that possible?
Because
but go ahead.
Wasn't she sort of dropped off on Jakku? I think it was Jakku. The same time that, like around the same time that Kylo kind of destroyed Luke's school.
But what if, because like the theory said, what if she was made in the lab on Jakku? Then she was never there.
I'm just saying, though, she would have, like, from the time that, the time that she was made by Luke's hand till dropped off at Jakku, she was maybe 4 years old, what they showed her. Because they showed them dropping her off.
You're right.
And then she went from 4-year-old to 20-year-old in just that normal span of time.
You're right.
So she only aged from
You're right.
zero.
Take that out.
I'm just finishing my thought though.
I've been lawyered.
She went from 0 to 4 in like that whole span of time, and all of a sudden 4 to 20, like.
However,
in a span of time,
I'll fight this. We don't know when that drop off happened. Maybe that drop off happened at the end or right after Return of the Jedi. Way before the Star Wars trilogy, this last one even started. We don't know the exact date, I'm saying, of the drop-off.
I thought it was referenced to be sort of around the same time. Like, it was all in the same time period. Then.
But if it's not said...
I have to watch it again.
And that's the thing, where somebody can correct us down below.
Please
I'd love
do.
to. But I would say if they don't say exactly when it is, I would then say, what if it happened... Yes, you think that because the graphics and the CGI is better now, but she was dropped off about when Return of the Jedi was ending.
I'll have to watch it again,
right after
I gotta
that.
know now.
Because it's not just like, boom, she was dropped off, and then boom, this is where there's a little bit of a time jump. We don't know how long that time jump is.
I'll have to watch it.
They never say. It's not like 5 years later, 4 years later kind of a thing.
Yeah, I have to watch it again and see if they actually infer any parts of that. Because I want to know. Or like they reference, infer, or like show us, hey, yeah, she was dropped off the same time. Because I remember the theory too was like she was one of the students. There's also this theory out there that she was one of the students from the school.
Kylo's school?
Yeah, Luke's school that Kylo fucking destroyed, and she was like the last student left.
Okay. Well, you say kids at a school, and my first thought is Anakin. And I was like, she can't be from Anakin's school.
No.
She can't be the Jedi school that Anakin just massacred.
You killed children, Annie.
The little Padawans.
No, I didn't.
They'll never see tomorrow.
No, I didn't.
God, I remember when I saw that scene as like a 15-year-old. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, they just killed those kids. Last thing I want to mention, though, is about Palpatine, though. Do you think the shot of Rey in the trailer where she's standing on, like, the white snow, it looks like the white stone ground, and she's looking up at something, is she in front of that throne that we saw, and is Palpatine on it? And is she talking to
like,
Palpatine?
This thing coming towards her in a black...
Exactly.
I think it's Palpatine.
So Palpatine's floating towards her, maybe?
Like on a chair of some sort.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's what other people are saying otherwise. Is there anything else in the trailer you think we need to hit that kind of sparks out to you?
So I'm trying to see real quick.
Because, like, I feel bad for Finn and Rose and Poe, but it's like,
a lot going on
I only care about Kylo, Palpatine, and Rey.
There's not a whole lot to their story that's going on in this. This is, to be fair, like there are really good side plots.
Yeah.
And really good side characters they have. Just like Han and Chewie were in the
You're gonna
original
get Chewie
trilogy.
and Lando now.
Yeah, Chewie, Lando in this one. You got Poe, Finn, and Rose. In this one, you had wow, I can't even think of names now. You had what? You want me closer?
A little closer.
No,
yeah.
screw that.
I was just saying you could move the mic.
They
to
can
your
hear me
mouth.
well enough. I'm kidding. You had what?
Johnny's gonna start talking like this. Hey guys, how's it going? That's kind of like what it sounds like. But go ahead.
I mean, sort of R2D2 even.
He's got to be the one that, if anyone survives, he's got to be the one to survive.
Of course.
Because throughout the entire trilogy,
the original trilogy,
he's been the one to tell the story to make sure people know what happened.
The original, well, not all of it, because he did have his memory wiped at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, but it came back. They reprogrammed it.
They did?
Yeah. It's a droid. You can reprogram that shit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You ever try that with a computer?
Yes.
You lose the memory, you lose the memory.
These are high-tech computers.
Oh,
man.
okay.
They have technology we can't even fathom. Star Wars. something dark side.
Something dark side. Something 4-bit processor.
Yeah, I set you up for that one, but go ahead.
I'm starting to lose my train of thought now.
Yeah, these tangents that we go out on.
Yeah.
They make you lose your train of thought.
No, but like in the original trilogy, you had like Chewie, Han, Lando Calrissian, and a few others as really nice side characters. But who was it about? Luke and Darth Vader and Palpatine. The first ones were about Anakin and Obi-Wan. You had a shit ton of side characters. Jar Jar Binks. Again, R2D2, C3PO. You had...
What if we get on get on the throne and it's just Jar Jar sitting there? Misa knew you were coming.
You're not Annie.
Exactly. You're not Annie. Where is Annie? People who hate Jar Jar just hate us now.
It's the day on the Ikabuki day.
Oh, God. If that's the body that Palpatine possessed... Because there's even theories out there that he was a Sith.
Yeah.
So what the moves that he was doing
was like drunken master style.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. I mean, I think it was what the theory was. He was supposed to be, and because of the backlash about Jar Jar Binks, they pussed out.
Yeah.
I would have loved if honestly
instead they made him a dumb.
If they actually made him like
a Sith Lord,
just drunken master style, because that's what was happening with him. Like all those things didn't quite like, they seem real goofy, but when you look back at them,
they're calculated.
Seems semi-calculated, like semi-calculated.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if you there's a Jackie Chan movie where he's a drunken master. Can't remember. It might actually be the Drunken Master. I can't remember the name of it, but that's what this fighting style is. It's not like it's not like you know what you're doing. It almost seems like you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
No, I totally get that.
It's completely chaotic and it's go with the flow.
Any final things you think we should mention before we wrap this one up and move on into some Overwatch?
Can't wait to see what happens.
We will. So in December,
can't
Johnny
wait to
and
cry.
Johnny and I will definitely be seeing this one and reviewing it here on the channel for you
Get your
guys.
cloak, Ricky. We'll need something to wipe our tears
Hell
with.
yeah. I almost bought one at Disneyland.
Well, buy it.
I almost did. I'm going to bring my lightsaber, my $215 lightsaber.
Buy yourself a cloak and get your lightsaber ready because we're going to go.
Hell
see
yeah,
that
hell
movie.
yeah. Let us know, though, what you guys think down below about the trailer and anything that we talked about. How excited are you for the movie? Everything Star Wars. Let us know down below in that comment section.